For biomed, we need to like create a false product and then falsely advertise it and like lie about our staff.
That sounds like interesting, actually. That sounds like interesting. That's what pharmaceutical company does anyway.
Yeah.
We be marketing a fake acne pill. You're gonna just like
We did a
Wait, fake acne pill? That's so smart.
watching pill like you get rid of acne.
And then we did a fake tanning oil that prevents skin cancer. But like we lied about we were like, oh, like a lot of people like it, but like that doesn't just because a lot of people like it doesn't mean you actually get the results. And then we were like, oh, other companies don't have any SPF, we have 20, but 20 is still below what you're supposed to have. And then also the reason why people don't have it in their product is because like have you heard about like but we're just like bashing other.
That's
You
interesting.
don't want to explain your dyslexia.
It was fun.
So if you have, if they have color, I want to talk to you.
All right, put your coffee away, please.
Oh my God. Sorry, I do know some of
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to curve sketching. We're still gonna sketch in different part of the curve. This time we're gonna talk about some rational function. In a pre-cal, you're supposed to be able to graph rational function, and actually you can base on a pre-cal skill to graph rational function. You don't need to base on calculus. But we're gonna talk about calculus because we're gonna talk about the rest of the part, so you can actually sketch a graph on your own. On the UCF final exam, they usually give you a function and they will ask you to graph it. And the only thing that difference between UCF test and my test is UCF actually give you the first derivative and second derivative. So in case if you do first derivative wrong, then you still could have sketched the graph completely. But for me, I really need you guys to get more precise. So I'm not gonna give you a first derivative or second derivative. You're gonna have to find out on your own because that's part of the questions. So today we're gonna talk about this function f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 9 over x squared minus 4. If first thing I would talk about all the stuff. So it's x-intercept. How do we find x-intercept? Yeah, on the top is 9. On the bottom is x squared minus 4. Okay, x-intercept, y-intercept, symmetries, which is even and odd function, even versus odd. And we got a domain. We got vertical asymptote, so I'm gonna write down VA because I don't want to write asymptote. Horizontal asymptote, even a slant asymptote, but normally you don't get the slant, but and that's what can you tell in the original function. That's what can you tell from original function. From the f prime of x, then you have to write down what's f prime of x, and you're gonna find out from this one's increasing versus decreasing. and concave up. Actually, min versus max, and there's concave up versus down, and there's inflection point. Damn, they're really loud. I don't think she's teaching. I think she's just kind of let student hang out in there. Did she teach AP? Computer science? Is this one, right? Does she teach or no? No? Oh.
Everyone
All right, so x-intercept, how do you find x-intercept? Zero for x? No. Zero for y. So pretty much just a remaining numerator equal to 0. So if you want to write down remaining numerator equal to 0, it's probably a good idea. Why do I say remaining? Is because sometimes you have whole that you can cancel out, and you should not including that as your x-intercept because that's a whole. Does that make sense? So remain numerator equal to 0. Now, and you're going to say, why denominator doesn't equal to 0? The denominator equal to 0 is a vertical asymptote. So it's just x squared. So let's just say if this is a is going to be x squared minus 9 equal to 0, x equal to plus minus 3. So it's going to be 3 comma 0 and negative 3 comma 0. B, we're going to talk about y-intercept. How do we do y-intercept? It's basically plug in 0 for x. So x equal to 0, solve for y. So therefore, it's going to be 2 times negative 9 over 0 times negative 4. And that's equal to negative 18 over negative 4, 9 over 2. So 0 and 9 over 2. Symmetries. Do you guys know how to find symmetries? Plug in negative x. Is this odd or even? It's even because you're going to go back to exactly same as the equation before, so it's even. Why plug in negative x here? I plug in negative x. It doesn't matter. It both square, so we go back to before. So this even symmetry are symmetry to what? To y-axis. Yeah. So it. All right. So it's symmetry to y-axis. It's like, you know, your face should be symmetry left and right. Not completely symmetry, but mostly symmetry. So it's like y-axis, right? So that's an easy way to think about it. Now origin, hopefully your face is not symmetry to origin. Because that means your eye's gonna be here and your eye's gonna be here. So, and that would be pretty ugly. D, domain. Well, domain and vertical asymptote really come hands to hand because usually domain, you look at a denominator. Denominator cannot equal to 0. So in this case, so it'd be negative infinity to negative 2, union from negative 2 to 2, and the union from 2 to infinity. So that's pretty much because x cannot equal to plus minus 2. But vertical asymptote happen that E is a vertical asymptote is denominator equal to 0, so x equal to plus minus 2. So there's 2 vertical asymptote. How do we find horizontal asymptote in this case? What? Not bottom equal to 0.
Isn't it the highest from the top over the highest?
Yeah, divided by highest degree, top and bottom, and then you reach infinity. Then you will happen to this one is gonna give you a y equal to 2 because you divide by x squared top and bottom. Eventually, it's gonna be that. Yeah, limit x approach infinity. You gotta approach infinity, of course. So. Slant asymptote. If you have horizontal asymptote, you don't have slant. Sure. I divided by this. So f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 18 over x squared minus 4. I'll divide by top by bottom by x squared. Do you remember that? And I limits as x approach infinity of 2 minus 18 over x squared over 1 minus 4. Where's 1? Yeah. 1 minus 4 over x squared. Because this just simplified. So this is going to go 0. This is going to go 0. So answer is 2. If you divide by highest denominator. So by doing that, the only thing that's calculus is this part. And even with pre-calculus, you can still find horizontal asymptote just look at the degree of the functions. So in this case, y equal to 2. And that's something that you guys need it. Slant asymptote, there was none. So EFG, there was no slant asymptote. If you have horizontal, you don't have no slant because slant means numerator has a bigger degree, 1 degree larger than denominator. Okay, so in this case, there's not 1 degree larger, but in order for you to find slant, you had to do long division to find the slant asymptote. So, yes, Aiden, stretching. So ABCD of G, f prime x. Can you guys all take a derivative of this function? I don't want to do it. Fine, I'll do it. Low B high minus high D low all over low low. So if you simplify that, so it's going to be 2x squared minus 8x. Wait, hold on. I did the derivative wrong. Low, hold on a second. Low. It should be 4x, right?
Yeah.
High, D low. Okay. All right. So this one is going to be minus 16. This one's a 4x squared. 4x cubed minus 16x. Minus 4x cubed. And a plus what? So that will end up to be what? 20x over x squared minus 4 squared. No, not square. No, it's square, yeah. So then I need to do a number line test. Now, you gotta make sure number line test is not only in the top. It's bottom equal to 0 too, because the vertical asymptote, they might switch the increasing and decreasing. So you had to including the all critical point, even like it's undefined. Does that make sense? You will have -2, 0, and 2. And it's 20x. And this is an x squared minus 4 to the square. Right, Brandon, would you mind to put phone away, please? So this one's all positive, and this one's negative, and this one's positive because the bottom is square, so it's always positive. The top is just going to be negative side of square, so it's going to be decreasing, decreasing, increasing, increasing. And then so where's the relative maximum or minimum? 0. So we already know 0 and the 9 over 2 is your min. But you have to double check if 0 define original function. In this case, is defined, so therefore it's relative minimum. If it's not defined, then it could be a vertical asymptote. So you cannot just say, oh yeah, if change in the sign must be that. No, it's changing sign, but you have to look at the original function whether they are 0 on the denominator or not. In this case, it's not, so it's relative minimum. Are we okay here? Okay, the second derivative. This one's kind of pain in the butt. So it'll be low D high minus tie d low over low low to the fourth. So what's nice is you can factor out a x squared minus 4. And then that's equal to 20 times x squared minus 4. If you factor that out, that's going to give you minus. I can factor out 2. I can factor out 20, right? Okay, let's do that because I don't want it. Let's factor out 20. So 20, that's will give you x squared minus 4. According to Joshua says this will be easier. And if you factor out 20, what do you have left? It's a 4x minus 4x squared, right? Over x squared minus 4 to the fourth. So this is changed to the third. And wait a second. Should I have a minus sign somewhere? Oh no, I don't. So that's gonna give you 20 times negative 3x squared minus 4 all over x squared minus 4 to the third. So can I factor out a negative sign outside? So it'll be negative 20 times 3x squared plus 4 over x squared minus 4 to the third. Now this one, number 1 test is kind of special because 3x squared plus 4, are they ever going to get negative? It always lasts it. Okay, so, and the only thing that's negative 20 is going to affect all the sign. And the x squared minus 4 to the third. So it's going to be negative 2, 2. This one's a positive. This one's a negative. And this one is positive, negative, positive. So negative, positive, negative. Down, up. Now there's no inflection point here, even though the sign change, because negative 2 and 2 are asymptotes. Bye.